So I'm having little daydreams, thinking of my husband, missing my husband, wishing I could go visit him, wishing he was here, praying for the money to take care of what we need to take care of so we could be together, getting the help we need. And with that, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. Yes, it's me, April Love, here in Boston, wishing you a blessed time. Truly hope you are finding reasons to smile, to laugh, to enjoy life, to appreciate everything and everyone around you. It is midnight here in Boston, and whoever's lurking in the background, thank you for coming in. Hit that like button. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. If you feel like saying hello, please do. If you don't, it's all good. Um, so I just, just kind of daydreaming, kind of staring out and dreaming of my dreams and envisioning them coming true. I literally had a dream earlier today, a very vivid dream of going to surprise my husband in Morocco. I literally, like, almost play by play. I even got lost trying to go. In my dream, I even got a little lost trying to get to his house from the airport because I don't speak very well that much Arabic, and trying to tell a cab how to get to his house, you know. And I actually woke up and spent a couple of minutes playing on Google Maps and on the Uber app to see if, because I was told that Uber is in Morocco, but apparently they're not in Morocco anymore. But I was playing with like the locations and trying to find. I woke up doing this, because of the dream that I had and stuff. But like I've had this vivid dream, have this vivid dream of going to visit him. Hello, Colleen. How are you? Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Um, don't forget that like button. You know. But eventually in the dream, I did make it to his house and surprised him, and it was a beautiful feeling. And that's maybe one of the it's like maybe the second dream as far as the things that I want, the things on my vision board. Diamond Love, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. The other dream I've had where it was really vivid, where I can feel the emotion and I can feel like physical sensations, was the visions I've had about the Jeep Wrangler that I want. I've had a couple of visions of that, and like a couple of times of the visions of me getting the my dream car. Like in the vision, I was crying, and in real life, I started crying because of how strong the feeling and then the sensation was of getting that vehicle. And today, when I was sleeping and dreaming about going to surprise my husband, I got that same, like, in that, really deep sensation. I didn't cry because I didn't cry in the video, but I was excited. I was nervous. I was, you know, there was all good feelings, and it felt good to have that. And but then throughout the day, and especially when I got up and started heading to work, I started really thinking about my husband and wanting to, go visit him. My birthday's on Saturday, and his birthday's towards the end of the month. And we've never spent our birthdays together. We've been married 6 years and haven't had a chance to spend our birthdays together. I've had dreams in the past of, you know, going on vacation together to celebrate our birthdays. Hello, thank you for coming in, Maria. Oh, wait, maybe you're not Maria. But thank you for coming in. Got your name mixed up with somebody else, I think. But yeah, alright, cool. But yeah, so I'm just kind of daydreaming. I'm just kind of like letting my I'm not like stuck in my head. I'm more just kind of letting my mind wander into some of my the dreams that I want to become reality, and the things that I want to happen in my life. And there's moments of sadness and there's moments of excitement when I can envision being or doing what needs to be done. To, when I can physically feel the vision of the action being taken to making that, having that dream happen. So, and like I said, I am really missing my husband tonight. I want to go visit him. I want to, he's got so much going on in Morocco. I really wish I was there. I could be there. And thank you all for coming in tonight. I appreciate it. I really do. You know, no, I'm not crying. I got something in my eye. Literally, my eye's a little dry and itchy right now. But I'm not feeling like necessarily down. I thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not necessarily feeling down. I'm just, it's kind of a mix. Like I said, I had this vision or this, you know, I was sleeping and I actually had this dream that I could physically feel myself in Morocco, taking the cab, showing up at my husband's doorstep, surprising him. Nobody knew I was coming, so I surprised everybody, you know. And it was a fun, excited feeling, and you know, and I've been kind of off and on thinking about it all day, and then tonight, I kind of had a sentiment. I've been having spurts of sentimentalness of just wanting to be in the same physical space as my husband, and you know either chilling, like relaxing and watching a movie, or stargazing or whatever and stuff. And what makes it sad, or makes it, if I allow myself to go there, what makes it sad is I honestly don't know who to talk to. I don't know who to reach out to get the help I need to get him here. So yeah, I believe when you have the physical sensation, to go along with it, just like I've had visions of of my dream car, of getting my dream car, and feeling a positive, overwhelming feeling like it's finally here. I have it. It's mine. And like in the vision for my dream car, I've had at least two or three visions of my dream car, and in the vision, I'm like, I start breaking down crying, and in two of those times I had those visions, I was actually driving to work. I was actually in my car, and I started like legitimately crying. While I had to pull over. I had to pull over because I started crying just as hard as I was in the vision about me getting my dream car. And the vision I had and dream I had today, I didn't cry. It was an exciting feeling. It was a good feeling. It was like, you know, I'm not like there was a nervous feeling because of me trying to surprise him, and anticipating whatever his reaction's gonna be, and then for sure. And hi, Tiffany, I see you. Thank you for coming in. Just kind of talking about dreams, and kind of missing my husband. Feeling, missing him today, and I had to, you know, not to continue to repeat myself, but I um I actually had a dream when I was sleeping earlier of going to Morocco and surprising him and surprising my in-laws. Not just him, but surprising everybody. Not like, in the dream, I kept contemplating whether I was gonna tell somebody, and I was trying to record it. Even in my dream, I was trying to vlog the whole thing. But in the dream, I was actually I flew all the way to Morocco. Was trying to figure out how to get a cab to my husband's house, because he lives probably about 45 minutes away from um, the airport. So it's like, I'm in my dream. I'm trying to like get an Uber, or trying to get a cab that will take me all the way to his house. And then because of the language barrier, we actually got lost for a moment. And then once I recognized an area that we were in, I just had them let me out so I could, I'd walk the rest of the way, and surprise whoever was home. And then, have them call, hello, Ghostly. Right? I even had this this image of me trying to tell his father, who speaks very, very and understands very, very little English, but trying to get his father to call my husband to come home, but not tell him that I'm there. And tell him, oh, I need you to come home. I need your help. And then my husband comes, and they tell him to go to a certain room, and I'm there, you know and we embrace and we hug, and you know it was a nice little, it was a definitely a good vision, a good dream, and it was one that I can physically feel, you know hello, Money Magnet. Hello, Ghostly. Thank you all for coming in. I appreciate it. I'm not going to repeat the story again, so if you want to hear what I said for a second time, um, you're going to have to back it up a little bit. But, you know, I'm just in my dreams right now. I'm just kind of daydreaming, and, you know, and it's a mixture of feeling sad and feeling, you know, imagining that I am physically with my husband. I really do. I'm missing him to the point where I wish that we were. next to each other, like physically next to each other, and and just embracing each other, and and the vision itself makes me happy to think about. But it also, because I am here at work and I'm by myself, I do have a little sense of loneliness, and you know, you know, and when I start feeling the loneliness, what makes it the sad, what makes it the more sad, what brings out the sad feelings of being without my husband, or being alone, or not being able to see him, is it's more about the sadness, or like the negative feelings that may come up, is more about feeling lost, about not knowing who to turn to, or where to turn to, or where to ask questions, or who to ask help from. I know there's organizations in Boston. I know there's help I can get, and I just get really lost and confused and a little distrusting because of my last experience, trying to get not help from an organization, because the last organization I did try to go to gave me you know made me feel like basically didn't give me any hope. Maria, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. And and I feel like at this point I kind of want specific type of help. I don't want just any old person to help. Oh, I pray all the time. I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in God. I'm actually, I guess you can say I'm a part-time practicing Muslim. I can't say I'm 100% practicing, because I don't always get to my 5 daily prayers. I haven't been to the mosque in a very long time. Although next week I have. One of the reasons why I don't make it to the mosque is because I get, you know, um, Muslims, major prayer day is on Fridays. Usually around 1 p.m. at least here in Boston, and Friday morning is the night that I'm getting off for the weekend, and I'm like dead tired, and it's hard. A lot of times it's hard for me to get up early enough to get up and get dressed and get to the mosque in time. I know that sounds like an excuse, but some days, like for me to be able to go to the mosque, I'd have to get up at 11:30, um, to get there by because I like to get there nice and early to get a good spot and get a good place, because it gets very busy at the mosque on on they call it Juma. Friday prayer is called Juma and stuff. But in meditation, man, I see you. I saw you come in, Maria. Everybody, watching you come in. I'm just in the middle of rambling and stuff. So, but I definitely pray. I definitely, because I'm not only just praying for me. I think about my situation, and then I have a cousin who's going through pretty much the same thing. Her fiance is in Egypt, and they're having immigration issues. Um, and it's very tough on all four of us in our individual relationships and stuff. So but I do pray. I do, for the most part, put out the positive vibes. When it comes to my husband, and especially when it comes to my husband, I even have a vision board in my house, in my room, that sits sits on the wall directly across from my bed. So it's one of the first and last things I see when I'm in my room. Um, that's on my board. My dream car obviously is on there. You know, you know, ever flowing amounts of money are on there as well and stuff. So I just want to find the right people to help. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate that. I'm pausing because I'm trying. Yeah, I'm missing my husband. I love that green Jeep. I don't know what I want more, my husband here or my Jeep. I know that sounds bad, but I think the Jeep is a little more easy to think about because I see them driving around everywhere I go. But I want a specific Jeep. I want that green. I want that four-door black top neon green Jeep. There's a couple of modifications that I want on it. I want the heated seats, remote starter, an adjustable step bar, foot bar. Nose? What? NOS? Nos? What? No Nas. I'm not trying to street race. It took me a second to figure out what you meant by Nas. I'm like, Nas? What? And I'm like, wait, Fast and Furious, Nas. Okay, no, I don't want that. My husband might want that because he's a guy. That's kind of a guy thing. I know some women like that stuff too, but for me, I'm like, nah, I don't want to go fast. I just want the Jeep just makes sense. I live in Boston, and Boston's one of those cities where, especially during the winter, the snow is crazy. You know, so I want that four-wheel drive in this. I got an old 20-year-old Jeep now that runs fairly decent. I mean, it needs a little bit of work, but I'm in love with the Jeep Wrangler. It's, you know, just the look of it alone. Forget about the function because every car, for the most part, unless you modify it, all cars have the same function. All right, you turn it on, the engine moves, you move, blah 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 blah. It's got it's got tires and doors and steering wheels and radios. So as far as all that stuff, that's one thing. But The Jeep Wrangler, you know, visually is one of the only unique looking cars on the road right now. Every SUV, including the new Jeep Cherokees, all look alike. The shape of the car, everybody's SUV, including like the big Explorers, Expeditions and stuff like that. For the most part, they all look alike. The only unique vehicle on the road right now is the Jeep Wrangler, and that's one of the things that appeals to me. And that neon green, I'm not even someone that necessarily cares about the color green, but I love that neon green with the black hard top, the hard shell top for the Jeep Wrangler. I don't want a soft. I don't want the I don't want you know, soft top that you can pull off because you can pull the hard top off as well if you really wanted to and stuff. But I dig for New England, being in New England, especially with the winters. I think the hardtop makes a whole lot more sense and stuff, but I think it just looks better. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you, Tiffany. Love you too. But yeah, no, the Jeep Wrangler is one of the few things that I can think of that, regardless if I have it or not, just genuinely makes me happy. Cause I know eventually it's gonna be mine. I already know it's mine. And stuff, and I feel like overall, the Jeep Wrangler is something easier to think about than my husband because the fact that we have been married for 6 years, going come March of next year, we'll be married 7 years. 7 years, and we've only spent 2 months together in 7 years. I want that to change. I want my husband here. I want to be with my husband. I want to help him out of. I want to help him get well because he's not in the best of health. I want us to be able to help each other, to push each other. No, I had my hat on, so I just kind of pushed it forward. My hat killed the height of it, so I'm like, yeah, just push it forward. And hello, Red Ninja. It'd be funny if the Blue Ninja showed up in here. We could have a battle of the ninjas. What up, FIFA Nifa? Maybe I don't want to know the answer to this question, but do you see us coming together soon, Tiffany? Do you get that sensation? Because I've been wanting to go visit him for months now, especially with my mother-in-law over in Morocco right now. I mean, the vision and dream that I had earlier today makes me believe that I'm gonna be going soon, but I don't know. But the last couple of hours, at least, I've been, really thinking about him. I want to go to Morocco. I want to go to Morocco. I want to go visit my husband. I want to see my in-laws. I would really like to go while my mother-in-law is there, so I would have someone else that speaks English with me. Down the rabbit hole, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Thanks for doing that, rabbit hole. Have a good night. All right, have a good one, Meditation Man. Thank you for coming in. Can you tell, Stephanie? Can you tell that I'm on the verge? Trying not to. Trying to keep the positive vibe going. Have a good one, Money Magnet. Thank you for coming in. Oh, I know. I think it's gonna happen whether I wanted to or not at this point. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. We could all cry together. Well, dreams are emotional. Dreams are emotional, especially when you know, what? Dreams are emotional? I've been having lower back pains myself, but that's because I've been extremely inactive for like months now. At least it feels like it's been months. I think this has been my most inactive summer yet. The humidity has been so bad, I don't want to leave the house. I think the one of the reasons like I said it earlier, one of the reasons why I think I'm thinking of my husband is, my birthday's on Saturday. His birthday's on the 27th of September. And I just want to be with that, special someone. We've been married 6 years, and not once have we been together for our birthday. And if I'm going to be honest, I've never really had, a significant other, boyfriend or what have you, ever on a holiday. I've had very few relationships, and none of them, you know, the relationship with my husband is the longest one I've had. should say boyfriends named Kirk are very overrated. Also, brothers named Kirk are a little overrated. If you haven't figured out, the boyfriend named Kirk and the brother named Kirk is the exact same person. Oh, believe me, I have no problem being alone. I've done, but I've done alone since I was a teenage, since I was a teenager. I've never been one to have a lot of friends. I don't even have, I don't even have at the moment, you know, and I'm, not talking about you guys, but in real life, or like in my personal life, I don't have that that best friend that I hang out with on a regular basis. I know I got you. I know I got you, Stephanie, but you know what I mean. But you know what I mean. I don't have that person that I go hang out at their house or they come to my house or drag me out of the house. You know what I'm saying? I don't have, I don't have that, at least that one person. I don't have at least that one person that like, or even with my family. I got cousins. I got a crap load of cousins. I talk to my cousin Mia. I talk to one cousin on a regular basis, but even we don't hang out. We might talk on a regular basis, but when I'm down, she's not gonna come to my house and drag me out of the house. You know, she might call to see if I'm okay, but she's not gonna come drag me out of the house. And I'm not one to just go over to her house either. It just happens to be what our relationship is. You know, and I got on my father's side, I've just recently started connecting with one of my younger cousins. That when we talk, we click and we could talk for hours, but we don't, but at the same time, we're not, we don't see each other on a consistent basis. We don't, you know, I don't go out of my way to go to her house. She doesn't go out of her way to invite me to, you know, she doesn't go out of her way to come here. If we happen to be talking, or whatever, we might decide to try to meet up, but we don't like make plans to go to a movie. We don't make plans to do whatever, you know. Like Saturday. I went, I waited. Was it Saturday? No, it was yesterday, Sunday. When I waited to the last minute to go to this, Muslim holiday barbecue festival thing. I waited for the last hour to go, and I had to drop off a donation, a backpack donation to my cousin, my younger cousin, because she's collecting backpacks and school supplies. Um, and because I was already out, I was like, I tried to see if she was home, and I ended up over her house, and a couple of my family members happened to be there. And stuff. But and I know I have all you guys, but you know what I mean when I say like I don't have, I think we all have at least one person that like we can call on, or we can go to a movie with or whatever. But other than my brothers, and my mother, who like right now we can't spend too much time together because we bump heads too much. I don't have. I'm off. I actually have this next week off. My birthday Saturday. I'm off this weekend, and I'm have it in all of next week. I'm gonna be off. From this Friday till the following Sunday, I'll be off. So basically a week and a day. Cause my nights off start on Friday, and I requested next week off. So I wish I had money to go somewhere though. I could really use a day or two away from my house. But even with all the extra hours I was working, I didn't even accomplish what I wanted to financially um, this summer. I worked all this overtime to try to pay down some of my debt, and I ended up using most of it, um, for most of what the overtime money for other things. I mean, I paid down a little bit, but every time I went to go pay it, I would end up having to use my one of my credit cards for something else. Because either I ran out of money or I needed something, and it was the only way to pay for it. So cool being Stephanie. I saw what you wrote. For sure. To be honest, I haven't been going out much because of the humidity and heat here in Boston, because I've been having fatigue issues all summer anyway, partly to do with the heat, and like I'm lucky I'm lucky I've been functioning most of the summer. The last couple of weeks I was supposed to like do thorough cleaning, and I'm lucky if I can get myself to clean for like 20 minutes. But yeah, no, even when I'm at, the few moments that I do I do go out or whatever, or even when I'm at work, I might be in the middle of a big empty parking lot, but I try to embrace the little bit of nature that's around me. I mean, you see how many times I highlight the moon in my in my live streams. I spend a lot of time looking up at the moon and the stars, and where I work at a thoroughbred horse track. So like there's this big open space of grass and trees, and I see like the rabbits hopping by, and the random wildlife that comes around. I hear you, Tiffany. It was funny, right? And I was saying this in the very beginning of the stream, about the dream that I had about my husband, right? Is as soon as I woke up, I started playing with Uber in Google Maps, cause like in the dream, I was one of the things I was trying to figure out in my dream was, am I gonna try to call an Uber, or if I'm gonna take a cab? And I was like, well, I heard that Uber's supposed to be in Morocco, and I got the Uber app on my phone. Let me see if I pretend like I'm gonna get a cab from the airport in Morocco. Will it show? Like, can I? Will it bring up his ad? If I put in the location and the destination, will it come up? And I can on the Uber app. Well, first of all, it said that Uber is no longer in Morocco, but I could still pretend like I was gonna try to get an Uber to his house. And definitely, alrighty, we'll be here, possibly, maybe, could be. But on the Uber app, almost even on Google Maps, I was having a little trouble finding his address on the on the maps, like to do a directional. And there was one point where I accidentally put know, I accidentally did the the parting location to be my house and then his house, and it did show a black line going from Boston to Morocco, because they're literally across the ocean, across the Atlantic. Sometimes I get a kick out of that, and sometimes that makes me sad, because I'm like, I look at the map and I go, all we have to do is swim. Either he could swim to me, or I could swim to her. I know I'm like joking when I say that, but like I look at the map, I'm like, well, he's just right there. He's only like, if you want to be um, technical about it, if you look at the map, we're only about an inch away from each other. We're just across the harbor. Definitely. You know how many times I've made that joke to my husband? I'm like, we can just swim. It's like right over there. Especially now here in Massachusetts, like every other beach is a great white is showing up. I gotta start driving around. Please be advised, as I drive around, the stream may disconnect momentarily, but don't be alarmed. It will come back. Even by boat, it would be a long venture. I really wish I knew somebody or somewhere to go to ask for help. It was one of the reasons why I finally kicked myself out of the house yesterday to go to the Muslim um, festival thing to see if I can network a little bit. But of course, because I waited to the last hour, there was barely anybody left there. So I want to see if I can get this on screen again. Hold on a second. Okay, so that yellow thing right there. I want to see if that clears out. I'm going to open the window for a second. Maybe that will help. Where is it? Who sees the cross? And hello, Melissa. How are you? I'm trying to get this to be steady enough that it will focus. See if I can get it any closer. Don't know if that's gonna clear up or not. Almost cleared up. Alright. Fortunately, the close-up will not focus. Well, I got it to focus for a moment anyway. Oh, you're in Boston, Melissa? Thank you, I appreciate that. You're in Boston? Fitchburg. Oh, so you're... Is that west? Oh, 30 minutes away. Weekend was good. I'm now at work. I work the overnights at the Thoroughbred Horse Track. If you know what horse track is in Boston, I'm not saying the name because I'm not being sponsored and I'm not really supposed to be doing it anyway. But if you know where the racetrack is in Boston, then you know what I'm talking about. And so yeah, so I work here. I've been here for going into my 13th or 14th year. I don't even remember anymore. So where's Fitchburg near? Is it going out towards like Western Mass, or is it um, like going towards Rhode Island? North. So going towards Fitchburg. Oh, going towards New Hampshire. Okay, gotcha. Hold on a moment. Welcome back, Meditation Man. You're in Kentucky now? Visiting or visiting people? Amanda. And hello. Oh, hi, Amanda. How are you? I'm like, I got confused for a minute. So hold on, guys. I'll be. Oh, I may have to put the camera down for a second because I saw headlights and I need to go check them out. Okay, never mind. I don't have to check it out. I can see from here who it is. Okie dokie, Stokely. So is Fitchburg off at 93 or 95? Alright, I'm back with the light. Ah, cool. You think 95? Have a good night, one Unstoppable. Thank you for coming in and hanging out. Have a good night once again, Mr. Meditation Man. Ah, okay. Just not your thing? Don't mind me, I'm always playing with my hair, so. Sound like my brother. My brother's gonna be 30 years old at the end of the year, and he could care less about getting his license. My brother just doesn't do it because he's not motivated. He don't care. Stuff, but It's understandable. I didn't even get my license until I was 28 myself, so. Waste of time. It's all good. No worries. I think he went back. I think he went back to lie down again. Yeah. So this live stream, um, just been talking about dreams and me missing my husband. My husband lives in Morocco. Never been to the States. The very short, um, non-detail stories. Been married for 6 years. Um, tried to go through immigration. They gave us an issue, um, partly due to financial reasons. I haven't been able to. Neither one. We haven't seen each other in 3 years. I can't afford a lawyer. He can't afford anything. So we've been kind of at a standstill. I really want to go visit him, but again, I don't really have the funds to do that. I need a lawyer to help us with a new immigration case. But today I had a really good dream of him, of me going to Morocco to surprise him and surprise my in-laws. Um, and as soon as I woke up from that dream, started playing with Google Maps and Uber in the map, in the location thing on Uber, just to like, see if it would pop up, if his address would show up and whatnot. And then we were talking about my dream car. Speaking of driving, I have it, I've had visions and dreams of my dream car, where, like, including this dream that I had today about my husband, you know, I had, yes, we are. We get a marriage license and everything. And and it is a legitimate marriage. It wasn't for what people, most people would think, automatically want to think it's for. We do genuinely love each other. My mother-in-law is actually my best friend, so. But I've been at a bit of a standstill trying to find, you know, a standstill not knowing where to turn, especially with no money to get the help that I need to go through immigrant, try to start a new immigration case. Yeah, there's a my the email that I prefer to use for my channel is in the description below, aloveproductions.com. Or you can go to alovetoloveyu@yahoo.com. That's my personal email. That's ALOVE, the number 2, LUVU@yahoo.com. But either one is fine. You know, even I even have a cousin who's also going through immigration issues with her fiance, who happens to be a friend of mine. Her fiance's in Egypt. He went for his interview back in December, and we just recently found out because he fell into a deep depression after the interview. Kind of like my husband. My husband's been in a deep depression for the last couple of years. My cousin's fiance's been in a bad depression the last 8 months. With my cousin's fiance, he went for his interview. They barely asked him any questions. They were extremely rude to him. Didn't I appreciate that, cause any help I can get, cause I don't know where the I need someone that knows how to deal with the immigration process, and especially with people that don't necessarily have maybe a lot of evidence and a lot of whatever they might, because especially now I know it, the way everything is going with immigration right now, they're making it 10 times harder, you know, to put things through. But like I said, even my cousin's fiance, he went for his interview back in December, and he recently told my cousin they had a choice between a red folder and a green folder. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what the red folder means and what the green folder means. They already had the red folder out. They already had no intention of giving him a visa. And supposedly at the interview, my cousin sent them had stacks of papers with every inch of proof that you could possibly need about their relationship or whatever. They had like one or two pieces of paper in the folder, and out of hundreds of pictures, they had two pictures of her and her daughter, and that was it. And they barely asked my cousin's fiance any legitimate questions or anything. They didn't ask him anything substantial, and was apparently very rude to him. And they haven't heard anything from immigration at all, paper wise, email, or anything. And even with me and my husband, we got married in 2012. He went for his interview in 2013. They called him back, told him to come back in 2 weeks with extra pictures and other stuff. He did that. It took them 2 extra years to finally get back to us and tell us they didn't believe that we had a bona fide marriage, that we had a real marriage, and they wanted more evidence. We gave them all the evidence we could give them at the time, you know. And especially people from Muslim countries. So I understand, I get, the discrimination that's happening. Unfortunately, the thing that happened with me and my husband, that happened during the Obama administration. So I can't really, blame the current situation on me and my husband. But I know, I can't blame what's going on now with what happened to me and my husband. But with um but now I know if we try again, especially by ourselves, there's no way we're gonna make anything happen by ourselves. You know, and I feel, just as sad as I am for my me, and as sad as I am for me and my husband, I'm even more upset about my cousin and her fiance because you know you know they deserve, like, me and my husband deserve it, deserve to be together, but my cousin and her fiance, again, who happens to be a friend of mine, they got like a storybook love. They got like that movie type love, that like the love that we wish we could fight for and wish we had or whatever. And to see them going through what they're going through, and my cousin's already been through hell and back in her life. Since she was a kid, she's been through hell and back multiple times, and to have this happen, both in for the ones that we're trying to bring here, me bringing my husband and her bringing her fiance. These men have big hearts. They care for their families. They've never been in trouble. They don't. Neither one of them have records. You know, and as far as me and my, I'm working class. Melissa, you figured out where I work. I don't make that much, so I can't afford to go back and forth. And even if he wanted, and people think it's easy for people in other countries just to get it. Even you know, it, people think it's easy even just to get a visiting visa. But especially now with what happened with me and my husband, I don't even think he can apply for a visiting visa. And people go, how come he doesn't come visit here? How come? I go, if he could have visited here, he would have been here already. It's not that people think it's that simple. It's not that simple. Granted, some people, they glide right through the system. Other people, me and my cousin and our loved ones are a perfect example of how not easy it can be for some people. For whatever reason, we've been dealt the cards that we've been dealt. But both for me and my cousin, like, I'm praying just as hard. Like, I want to cry just as hard for my cousin that I want to do for my own situation. For my own situation, I've cried so much over the years that sometimes I don't, like, I might not seem like I'm as interested as I say I am, because I've kind of got to the point where, like, I I have my moments where I still cry and I get emotional, but I'm more at the point where, like, I need something to happen, and the tears are not going to help it. The prayers will help. Keeping a positive mindset eventually will help. I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in, you know, putting out the good vibes. Right, because I mean, if they're able to help, I mean, like I said, I struggle alone. I already have struggles here in Boston with my family. I live at home with my mother and my brothers. We all help to support one another because Lord knows nobody can afford rent anymore. inshallah, which means inshallah in Arabic means God willing. So and people, when I tell people the situation with my husband in Morocco, they start judging him. But if you don't live in that country, you don't know what the situation is. So you can't really judge where he is unless you're there with him and seeing what he's going through. Because of the whole. Okay, I'll start getting into some of the details since you're here and you're listening. When we got married, he just got certified to work as a mechanic on the big cargo ships, like the oil ships that come into Boston. But he got certified in Morocco to start working on those. But when we started the immigration process, we were afraid that if he went out to sea, we wouldn't be able to contact him, and if immigration needed anything, we wouldn't be able to get him. Um, you know, it's not like, even if we could get contact with him, it's not like they're gonna turn around the ship and let him come home or get to land to be able to answer or do whatever he needed to do. So for 3 years, he didn't get to use his certification. And when we had to withdraw our last case, the case that we had, his 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 certification basically became invalid because he wasn't working. He wasn't putting in hours to use the training that he had. And at that same time, I almost lost my job here. It was I went from working at $15 an hour as a supervisor down at 40 hours a week, down to 2 days a week as a regular security guard at $12 an hour. I was on partial unemployment for almost a full year, and then and eventually I ended up getting 40 hours back, but I was still stuck at $12 an hour. Yeah, I could go other places, but you probably just as well as I do, finding a decent paying job is not as easy as one will think. And I don't want to be in security anymore, so I don't care how much I could get at another site. I don't want to go to another site. Unless I absolutely have to, I don't want to go to another site. I'm happy where I am, and I get freedoms like this. I have so much downtime that I can do things like this, and I'm trying to redirect my career to do things that I love to do. People get upset if I say that I send him money, and they automatically think that he's using me for money. He can't find work in Morocco. I'm his wife. If he's not supporting me, I'm supposed to be supporting him. That's what a marriage is about. But because he's from another country, and the stereotypical person from another country wants papers or money, people automatically go there. you know and I know this from experience too, because me and my brothers don't have the same father. My brother's father is from Peru. My two brothers have the same father. My father is from here, from Boston or whatever. My brother's father's from Peru. So when I was younger, I was around, I was you know, around, the Spanish community as well. I was around, my brother's father's family, all the way up until I was probably about 15 or so. Maybe a little older than that, but for the most part, I would say at least by up to 15, I was around my brother's father's family. And then I already told you everything with my my in-laws, but like I learned from my brother's father's family about how you know those that come here, and not just here, anyone that leaves their own country, majority of if half of I want to say half of them are coming here because they want to start a new life by themselves. The rest of them are going to other countries to find work so they can send money back home. I'm not from Morocco, but I married a man that lives in Morocco. And because of the immigration situation and because of his chosen field, he didn't go to work so we could hopefully get the visa so he could come. That ended up backfiring, and he wasn't able to use his certification. He couldn't afford to go get recertified, and he realized, and even when I send him money, it's like $50 here, $50 there. He can, and the exchange rate isn't the greatest. You know, a dollar of ours is $10 of theirs, but that means the cost of living there is just that more expensive. Just for like you know, just to get like a gallon of milk or buy something simple to eat cost an arm and a leg. Here's a perfect example. Okay, the last time I went to Morocco, we went to a cafe and he got his coffee. I did at the time I didn't drink coffee, so I just got a soda. Here that would cost maybe total maybe $5 or $6. I looked at the receipt when it came to the table. It was 35 Moroccan dollars for a cup of coffee and a soda. If I send him $50, that's it sounds like a lot, right? Because if I tell you the conversion, you'll go, "Wow, that's a lot of money." If I send him $50, that's just under 500 Moroccan dollars. They're called dirhams. It's just under 500 dirhams. But I just told you how much a cup of coffee and a bottle of soda is in Morocco, in Moroccan money. And you could just imagine how much transportation, whether you're taking public transportation or driving a car, costs. The cost of food in general, how much that costs. The cost of clothing. And then in the last couple years, because I'm not making the same money I did when we first got married, you know, I've, and because of the fact that, like I said, where I am financially, and my husband does get upset for valid reason. He gets upset when I can't send him money because he if he doesn't get it from me, he's gonna borrow from friends and family, and he's one of those people that doesn't like to borrow from people. He doesn't want to owe anybody, and he'll tally it up because he has full intention of paying everybody back. Anyone that he's borrowing money for, he'll tell me I have this much debt because I borrowed money from this person or that person. And people go, well, how come you can't find work? Because there's no work in Morocco. Not this year, but last year, they were protesting during Ramadan because nobody was hiring. And even my mother-in-law told me that, because my mother-in-law lives here, but she goes back to visit. And but my father-in-law has been in Morocco the last couple of years, and he's told my mother-in-law that he sees my husband going out every single day, passing out resumes, passing out, trying to find work and then coming home and not finding anything. And on top of not being with his wife, hey, Bianca, how are you? You know, he can't find work. He's borrowing money from other people. He's got medical issues. He's younger than me. I'm about to be 42. He's 4 years younger than me. He's got severe arthritis that he can't afford to go take care of, get the medication and the um, help he needs from the doctors. He's been in a severe depression for years. I hear you. But the difference between him being there and me helping him and him being here and me helping him. At least if he's here, I'm not trying to buy groceries for two separate households. He's gonna be in our household, in my household. So that's 50. That $50 that I would send him, that could be his transportation here to go look for work. That could be his transportation money for the month to go find work. You know, versus I send him $50 and that's not even gonna last him 2 days in Morocco. I have people. For good reason. I completely understand when people have those judgments, but when I try to explain it to people and they don't want to hear me and they want to sit in their judgment, that's when it bothers me and I end up getting quiet and I'm like, you know what? You don't understand it. I'm not going to explain it to you. You've already judged it. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm already a little bit emotional tonight, so there's a little bit of emotion in the background. I don't know if you can sense it, but what if you could ask for both me and my cousin, that would be even more appreciative. I know asking for one person is, you know, one thing to ask for a second person. Cause like I say, like my whole thing is like if I can find someone to help me, I'm immediately asking for my cousin too. Because like I said, and I'm getting teary-eyed about to say it. My cousin deserves it just as much as I do. The crazy thing is, I'm not necessarily even crying for me. I'm not even crying for me at the moment. I'm crying because, as you're all already seeing, it's the love that I have not just for myself, but for the people around me. To know my husband's in Morocco, constantly contemplating giving up. More than once, he's talked about wanting to not how he feels about himself. Talks about divorce because he feels, so we can both move on to have happy lives. But I know that's just because he doesn't know what to do, just like I don't know what to do. To know that his hi Jamie, to know he's got severe depression going on. He's got his arthritis bothering him to a bad point that even my mother-in-law said when she went back home that she started crying to see how swollen his ankles and his knees were because he can't afford to get the medical attention that he needs. I know he takes pictures of himself and he puts on a smile, but I know he's not happy. And then with my cousin, this year alone, it's been extreme hell for her and her family. I won't put her personal stuff out there, but she's on constant verge of worrying about losing her job. All I'll say is she works at the airport. I'm not gonna say more. If you, Melissa, if you know Logan Airport, if you know about the security, at you know, she's constantly worried about losing her job. You know, there's issues at home that again I'm not gonna get into her detail, but she's gone through hell and like I said, hell and back since she was a kid, and even especially this year between not having her fiance come, you know, other issues going on at home and with work, you know, and then of course I have my own other personal issues at home and stuff, but like I said a little earlier, I don't know if you were in here, but I was saying that, you know, I don't have anyone in my physical life, in my personal life that, you know, that I just hang out with and I just, you know, we got each other's back. Like my cousin I'm talking about, we talk on a regular basis, and for the most part we have each other, but we don't go out of our way to go to the movies or hang out because she literally works 7 days a week just to make ends meet. um, and she still doesn't always make ends meet. She sacrifices any bonus money. The last 3 years she's sacrificed the any bonus money she gets, she's sacrificed to go visit her fiance. She's you know, but she orders her tickets like months in advance. Again, when she happens to have an extra bonus or whatever, and if she happens to, um, you know, if she can finagle her vacation the right way to be able to do it, and if the price is right on the tickets, she'll, you know, she's sacrificed that, you know, she's trying to juggle having this relationship all the way in Egypt and having to deal with what she's dealing with at home, and she's working literally 7 days a week. Her health is at risk right now. She's getting that uh, um, calcium buildup in her foot, which is causing her to, you know, have extreme pain in her feet, and, you know, not walking properly, and she can't take time off to go take care of her health and take care of herself because she you know, the only time she's allotted to take off right now is to help one of her kids. And even with that, they threaten, you know, if she takes any more time off. So sorry if I'm bringing too much, you know, of my personal drama out, But I don't mean to make anybody make feel bad for me or my family. But I'm also trying to put it out into the universe that me speaking about it, it's not about me feeling the negative side of it. It's my heart and my passion for in my faith that I know things can turn around, despite how bad things might seem or sound or feel. Even with my cousin gets mad at me when I say don't give up, keep faith, keep praying. You gotta look for the positive. She hates it when I tell her that because she has, from every angle something negative happening in her life. Me personally, the only, I can, I can't 100% complain about anything because, I might be on the verge of losing. I appreciate that. That's why even this weekend with Divine Tiffany and Ghostly Iron, I spent the whole weekend, this all my live streams during the weekend, trying to help them because of all the love and support they've been showing me. Ghostly recently lost his job last week, so I spent the whole weekend trying to get people to support their channels, helping them to get monetized. They still both have a long way to go. I also put out um, their PayPal for anyone that could give even a few dollars of a donation. Even if it's only enough to get a loaf of bread. You know, because I know once again, not to change subjects, but the hashtag I'm a creator community. It's an amazing, amazing community. You know, again, as they say in Arabic, Alhamdulillah, praise to God. I find myself I tend to say the praise, thank God or God willing in Arabic just because this has a I feel like it has a more like powerful and beautiful sound to it. Not that just saying thank God isn't, and I guess just to have a different way of saying it, you know. Alhamdulillah is praise to God. Inshallah is God willing. Um, Mashallah is I don't. No one's ever really told me the um the exact um translation for mashallah, but mashallah is like um a phrase of endearment, like I'm excited for you. Wow, that's great, or whatever. It's kind of like you know, oh my God, that's great, sort of thing. Because like if I watch a couple of Arab or Muslim YouTubers, and when they talk about something exciting happening for somebody else, or they're excited for someone else, they'll say, "Mashallah, that's so great! Mashallah, that's so great!" So I take that to mean like the equivalent of like, "Oh my God, that's so great! Alhamdulillah, praise to God." And even if you fought, even DJ Khaled, he says everything in English, but the phrases he uses, he's basically saying the English translation of what he would be saying in Arabic when he says God is great. Allahu Akbar. When he says God is the Most High, Subhana Allah. You know, I find myself saying Alhamdulillah all the time. Praise to God. Thank you, God. Alhamdulillah. You know, and I try to spread awareness of that too, because I did convert to Islam in 2010, and I really don't know everything about Islam, and I obviously don't follow it 100% in the sense that like I'm the way I dress, the way I carry myself is not traditionally how a Muslim woman would carry themselves or dress, but you know that's my where I am personally, and I'm okay with that. And anyone that has issues with it, they can go deal with it themselves. It's just where I am and where my belief lies. I do have the Quran. I At home I actually have the Quran, the Bible, and I even have a Book of Mormon somewhere in my house. I do have a space in my room that that I have both the Bible and the Quran sitting next to each other. I have the cross, a Buddha, and a little angel, all on the same shelf. When's your birthday? And is that still near Back Bay or at Back Bay Station, or did that move? September 1st. My birthday's Saturday. Are you coming down to Boston on your birthday? Nice. Are you just coming down for the Hard Rock, or you plan to be around Boston and then go party at Hard Rock? What day's the 5th? Saturday, Sunday. What day's the 5th? Is that Wednesday? Roughly around what time? Cause I do a radio show. I do a radio show Wednesday at 2. I don't know if you can get the radio station up in Fitchburg though. You can listen online though. I work at I do a show. There's an organization in East Boston called Zoomix. It's a music organization for young people, but they have, and most of the young people have radio shows, but they do have a handful of community radio shows, which mine is one of them. And actually, this coming week, this Wednesday, I'm dedicating it to Michael Jackson because his birthday, I believe, is Wednesday. I know his birthday is right near my, right around the same time. So I was gonna do a Michael Jackson tribute show this Wednesday at 2. The link for that is all the way at the bottom of the description for Zoomix Radio. Oh, near MGH. Well, there's a couple of hospitals. Is the Hard Rock still near Back Bay Station? I don't know if you answered that already. Right across the street, right? Like kind of diagonally across. Because I haven't been there since I was in high school. I went to Madison Park High School in Roxbury, and we went. We went there for some reason. I don't remember what. If you didn't already have plans, I would tell you to come to East Boston. You could go to Italian Express, one of the places that was on Dive. What's his name show? Guy from Food Network. You know, the spiky blonde haired guy. Diners, drive-ins, and dives, or whatever the show's called. The only reason why I would say that is because I've been addicted to their rolled eggplant. It's basically like an eggplant It's basically like a low carb manicotti. Instead of using a pasta shell for the manicotti, they use eggplant, and it's bomb. I've been addicted to it all summer. I was like, that's my excuse for a low carb meal. If I'm gonna eat takeout, I'm like, I gotta go eat over there. I end up spending $20 because I get a side of meatballs with it too, and it's like, the nice. Keep doing this because I'm looking at my hair. No problem. Something just flew by. I'm gonna drive around for a minute. It's time for me to move position. No problem. I understand. This is usually my time to go to the bathroom too, but I don't have to go just yet. Well, maybe Wednesday, because I do my radio show from 2 to 3. Um, yeah, I do my show from 2 to 3. So I'm already down near Maverick Station in East Boston, because Zoom Mix is right around that area. Um, Insh- Inshallah, God willing. Have you actually ever been in East Boston to like just look around or well then again I don't know if you would want to hop on the train just to come to East Boston for a second. Because I don't know if you've ever experienced the Boston skyline from the East Boston side of the city. And with all the waterfront parks right now in East Boston, with all the development in East Boston, they're beautifying the waterfront even more than it already was. Because I'm sure if you've been in East Boston, then you know um, about you. You probably know about Pierce Park, right across from the aquarium. You know, across the water from the aquarium. But now they're developing even more on the waterfront of East Boston. You know, trying to push out, slow income people. Nice. I have mixed feelings about it because, again, one, I know they're trying to push everybody out. You know, people that have been there for years, low income people, you know, they're trying to, push people out. On the other hand, you know, the beautification that's coming with it, I can appreciate the upgrades. But I can't appreciate, them trying to change the demographic like they are, because obviously incomes are not, not everybody's income is matching, the price of living, the cost of living. Where in Boston did you live, if you don't mind me asking? Don't mind if I'm not paying attention to the stream at the moment because I'm driving, but I will stop in a moment to read. Cedar Street. That's downtown. Yeah, my brother just bought a house in Taunton, but he's trying to renovate it so he can um, rent out the unit. He bought a two-family. He wants to rent it out to make another source of income. And me, I'm trying to make this a career. I'm trying to, I have my T-shirt line on alaproductions.com. I really haven't sold much. I've sold one shirt this year, but I'm not giving up on it. It's, it's something I love. I just need someone that knows something about business to help me know about, work out the logistics and all that good stuff. But I know that the more I can market it and promote it the way that it needs to, I know that people will buy the shirts. If I can, if I had someone working the business side for me and knowing what they're doing, I can focus on creating and designing and doing all that good stuff. Um, my bladder is slowly telling me that I have to go to the bathroom, but I'm not ready to go yet. This is an ongoing argument. Me and my bladder have the same argument at the same time of night. And like, I don't want to go yet. And then I debate whether I want to just go here at my job. The only problem with me trying to go to the bathroom here is that I gotta walk like 50 yards just to get to the bathroom. Or do I go to the gas station where I could just park up near the door and walk in? Usually I end up going to the gas station, but then if I go to the gas station, I end up wanting to buy junk food, which is not a good thing because I don't want to be buying junk food. But I feel almost obligated when I go there and I just go to use the bathroom. Like, I should buy at least something. Yeah, living downtown, I can imagine the rents downtown. I mean, East Boston alone is bad enough. So if I come and meet you on Wednesday, I can come downtown. I can come downtown after 3 o'clock once my show is done. I'm, I can guess what's going on. Tiffany's dealing with her kids. Ghostly is probably editing a video, and I don't know about the other two. I think Meditation Man might still be in here, and he's just listening as he's trying to sleep. Um, and I don't know if Stephanie's still in here or not. Because I'm doing this on my phone, I can't see who the participants are. And YouTube lies about who's in the chats, because when I check it at home, it'll say that I have 5 people, and I look at the participants and it shows me 1 person. So yeah, and usually, if you're gonna try to catch me, I usually do my streams. Um, I usually start them roughly around midnight, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later. But for the most part, I start right around midnight. Because one of the things that helps me to stay awake at my job. So. All right, no problem. Yeah, because like I said, next Wednesday, next Wednesday, I'll have my radio show at 2. It ends at 3. And usually after, normally I just go home or I run an errand or whatever, but I could do whatever. Cool beans. Cool beans. If you don't mind, I don't know for sure if I will, but I may bring my vlog camera, just because I'm trying to be a little more consistent. If you rather not be on um, the vlog, then I'll just keep the camera on myself. But depending on how I feel next Wednesday, it depends whether I record or not. Right on. It'll be my second collab. Yes, I think I did. Because I was going through um, my my comments. I appreciate that. I, you know, I appreciate all the compliments and how people um, seeing what I put out and seeing me for who I am. But at the same time, I'm still trying to get comfortable with people giving me compliments. I'm like, I'm like, thank you. All right, yeah, okay, sure. I think that's one of the toughest things for people in general is to be able to genuinely just allow a compliment or like for people to really like for people to you know see see whatever they see. Okay, so we've dropped down to three, at least according to my screen. So I'm guessing it's you, Tiffany, and Ghostly. They're just being quiet, doing stuff in the background per usual. Nice. My mind's just wandering. Sure. Glad you came in. Glad we were able to connect. You have a good night. Yes, I do. All the links are down. I don't know if I have my personal Facebook down below. Um, but you can look up April Love in uh, my picture is of my chest with a T-shirt that says "Just Be." I think that's what my picture is. Cause I have all my links for all my social medias down below, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. But I forget which Facebook links I have down below. Cause I have one for A Love to Love. I have one for April Love for A Love Productions, but I also have my personal Facebook, which is April Love. But I think the screen name tag is A Love 2 you or A Love 2 or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, you can look up April Love. Is your Facebook in your About section on your channel? Another easy way to find me on there too is if you're on the hashtag I'm a creator community list. I'm on there too, so I post on there constantly. Well, on a regular basis. I wouldn't say constantly, but on a regular basis. All right, you two. You have a good night. All right. I think Tiffany, Ghostly. I think you guys are still there. I'm not sure who the fourth person is. Maybe Meditation Man. But I think I'm calling it a night for the stream. Want to thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate it. I love you. I got your back. I'm praying for everybody for whatever we all have going on to get aligned and become a better situation. Uh, and yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go. You have a good night. Most likely I'll be back tomorrow night. And until then, see you next week. Or not next week. See you in the next video, in the next vlog. Until then, like, love, share, and inspire. Don't forget, love is everything. See you next time. Much love. Peace.